What is up, guys? Wavy Films here, and today you're probably wondering why am I uploading a showcase on Wednesday. I know normally I don't, but the reason is because on Friday I'm going to be uploading a video of what I'm bringing to Brick Fair, and I didn't want to upload that Wednesday because Brick Fair is a week today, so I didn't want it to be that far away from the actual event, because then people might get confused and everything. So I just thought it would be easier if I uploaded it Friday and then just said it's next week. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Today for the showcase though, I do have X-Men. Now if you follow me on Instagram for a while, you would have known that I've written my own X-Men series, the first 2 episodes, and the space in the MCU, and I just did it for some kind of practice writing, and I really like how it turned out. And I just thought might be pretty cool to actually create customs of my characters from that story in an MCU-like X-Men design. So I have the original 5 here, plus Professor Xavier, because a lot of people were questioning where's Logan, where's Storm, where are all these characters. Personally, I just wanted to go with the original 5 X-Men from the original 60s comics, so I just did Beast, Jean Grey, Scott Summers, Angel, and Iceman. So that's about all you need to know, and let's just look at the figures. Alright guys, and the first figure here is Scott Summers. Now, in my story, he's actually the newest addition to the X-Men. Jean Grey comes in later, and he was an orphan, and then he destroys the orphanage, catches the attention of Professor X, and he gets brought into the X-Men. Originally, he doesn't want to use his powers because he's kind of scared of being a mutant, but by the end of the series, obviously, he figures out, oh, hey, being a mutant's cool, having powers is cool, I can help people. That's kind of what my Scott Summers is. So, for the figure, for all the figures, I wanted to keep the original X-Men design where they wore those like yellow and blue cloth uniforms, kind of update it, so I kind of created like these tactical suit type things. I would think that they would wear these kind of in the danger room, in the training room, and it would just kind of protect them from everything. Now here's the thing, is that all of the other X-Men have like colored lines on them, because I didn't want them all to be the exact same, because that's kind of boring to paint 5 times over. So, like, for example, Angel has red lines on his torso, Jean Grey has some blue, and that's actually just because I was thinking if Scott is the newest member of the X-Men, he wouldn't have had time to customize his suit, so it's just the base yellow and black suit, whereas people like Angel, Beast, and Iceman, they've been at Xavier School longer, so they would know more how to, or they would have customized their suits. It's kind of my thought behind it. The head was just the Harry Potter head, because I really did not want to paint glasses from scratch. I tried to square off the top so that it didn't look completely round, but that didn't really work. And then I repainted the mouth a bit. And then, yeah, just basic torso and such design with the X-Men logo there, and also on the arm on the side here. And I'm pretty sure this is a dual molded arm. The paint, matte paint scratches off really easily, so sometimes the lines all over the arms scratch off, but that's okay. And then I just wanted like a simple knee pad design with some gunmetal and everything. So yeah, that's Scott. And yeah, that's about it. The next figure is Jean Grey, and I really wanted to try and incorporate her 90s look into this version. I really like the kind of like the blue, I don't know what to call it, like the headdress thing she wears, and like the shoulder pads. So I wanted to add a lot of metallic blue here. Now, I kind of contradicted myself because I did say that I feel like Scott's the newest member of the X-Men, so he wouldn't have time to customize his suit. But Jean Grey actually comes in episode 2, not episode 1 with Scott, when Scott comes in. So her suit, I'm just gonna, because I can just say, this is the female version of the suit. It's just blue. The blue thing around her head, I was kind of thinking would probably be like kind of something to help her control her powers, almost like a mind helper controller. Anyway, the head was the Wonder Woman head, and I repainted the mouth, and then I painted blue over the tiara, and then just continued the outlines around and painted that blue all over, and then I added some metallic blue detailing to the helmet, and just a lot of metallic blue all over the torso. The legs, same design. The torso is a slightly different design to the male's torso. Those are lower, and everything's kind of squished in a bit more. She doesn't have the lines there, so a bit different. So that's why I said this is more like the female version of the suit. But yeah, this is actually probably my favorite figure out of all of these, just because I really like how the metallic blue looks. So Jean Grey. Next up is Angel, and as much as I really don't like his character at all in the comics or anything, I do really like the design I came up with him. One of his suits in the comics was more red and white, so I decided to add some red detailing on the chest and then some metallic white detailing for the stripes on the legs and the stripes on the arms. And also, I didn't point this out with Scott, but I kind of wanted the stripes down the arms and the legs to kind of look more like athletic wear, like if you get like track pants or something that have the stripes down the sides. That's kind of what I was going for. The wings on the back are Chima eagle wings, which literally just glued them on. Like, I didn't really do a back on any of these figures because I don't, especially when I'm doing my own design on figures, I lose motivation really quickly when doing the back, so I just don't. And that continues with him. That has the most back detail technically because I glued these on. So yeah, the wings should be bigger, but I don't know. I was kind of thinking that maybe he's still growing into them, so they're still growing out. I don't know, because they're mostly teenagers, and mutants do spread their powers around the time they're teenagers, as per comic book lore, so maybe they're just growing out, so they're not fully as big as they are, because in the comics, his wingspan is like all the way out to here, so yeah, that's Angel. So Bobby's the only X-Men figure that doesn't actually have any yellow on him at all, and that's because my idea was that he has a similar outfit to Scott like this, except when he turns into his ice form, which is the custom I made, the yellow spots would actually ice over and become like this kind of cool blue glass ice water-ish color. You kind of might be able to picture what I'm saying, but I think it looks cool. So yeah, also I did the ice form because I was running out of male head and hair pieces. Like Angel, I just gave him the Legolas head because I have a bunch of those and I couldn't find anything else. So, yeah. And the only reason I gave him this hair was because I bought 3 just to stock up because I thought it would be useful, and then I couldn't find an actual male hair piece, so I just gave him that. So for Bobby, I was like, I didn't have any male hair pieces or anything, so I was like, if I do his ice form, he's usually doesn't have any hair when he's like that, so took this translucent blue head, I believe it was Electro from Spider-Man. We take it off so that the peg isn't in the middle of the face. You can see the face a bit better. I kind of wanted to go for more feminine look because that helps it look younger, and I think this does look younger. He looks, because he's the youngest of the group, probably about 14, 15, and I wanted him to look a bit younger, so that's what I did. And yeah, Bobby Iceman, pretty cool. Like I said, I really like how the translucent head and everything turned out. And now we move on to the last X-Men. So I have to zoom out a bit for this one. This is Beast. Wanted him to be a bit bigger because I like when Beast is more of like actually a beast more than human. So I try to make him bigger and all kind of shaped out. In my series, he's actually human up until the end of season 1, then he becomes Blue Beast. That's just a choice I decided to make, but this is how he would look in my eyes. And if I bring in an actual minifigure here, you can see how tall he is. The one thing I don't like about this figure is the arms, because when you make a torso, because a torso, as you can see, angles like inward, then you put arms on, they actually angle out, and it looks really weird. So, yeah. So for Beast, I used this ponytail hairpiece because I really like the idea of he just has this long hair that he has to keep kept. The head was sculpted, so I sculpted, here if I take him off and bring him a bit closer, I sculpted the eyebrows, the mutton chops, and the nose. Usually I don't put noses on figures, but I thought it was pretty necessary for this one. The torso was widened with extra pieces of a torso, and I tried to make the top a bit bigger than the bottom, and I had to sculpt in the bottom. But then I realized because the Lego torso, when the arm goes in, angles this way, that it just kind of looks like a trapezoid or something, so that didn't really work out. The arms, I just triple extended them and then sculpted onto them. I mean, they look okay, it's just I don't like how they look like they're out, like he's almost like half T-posing. The legs, I do really like how they turned out though, so I used this on Accelerate, I used this on Ben Wolf, just this generic alien-esque monster type leg design. I think this is the best version I've actually made of these legs because you can't really see the seams and they're pretty seamless. So yeah, That's it for Beast. Kind of wish I added a tail to him. Might do that in the future, but yeah. And the last figure of the showcase is Professor X. Want to give a thanks to my friend Andy, Delta Customs. He helped me design the wheelchair floaty chair thing. I was telling him how I really wanted to do a brick built chair. I didn't want to just use a regular wheelchair because I like his floaty like gold chair from the comics and from the TV show, but that looks way too big and clunky and cartoony for realistic. So he gave me some ideas on how to start the build with the base piece, which I can't show you because it's all glued together. And so then, yeah. So I just built it with whatever random colored parts I had, and I painted it gold. But my gold paint is really chunky and made it look really terrible and chunky. So what I actually ended up doing was sanding off all the gold paint, then I painted it in a tan color, and then dry brushed it in gold, which still, it's not as bright as my gold paint is like generally, but it's still got that shine to it. It looks more realistic in my opinion, and then I just give it a black wash to look like it's all, you know, dirtied up and nasty, and I think it looks really realistic and good. The figure doesn't actually have any legs. He's just a torso that I sealed, just painted a basic, like, green suit design, and then just a basic old man head. And he just, I'm not sure why he's not sticking, but he just sits on two studs like that, and then he just sits there. So he was really fun to actually build this chair, and to glue, I glued everything together, and then I was thinking about sculpting in between the parts to make it look like one uniform part, but Andy said it looks more realistic like this way with the lines and crevices and everything, and I agree. So yeah, that's it for the last figure, and now let's just wrap up the showcase.